I was 15 when I got pregnant and 16 when I gave birth. Right after the delivery, my mother brought me a stack of papers and told me they were just routine hospital forms. I trusted her. She was my mother. I signed them without hesitation. They were adoption papers. My baby was taken from my arms, and I didn't see him again for 20 years. The boy's father and I were still together when I gave birth. His parents weren't thrilled about two teenagers having a child, but they never turned their backs on us. They helped however they could. His uncle owned a small restaurant and got me a job as a waitress. I worked nights and weekends. My boyfriend worked at his father's auto parts shop. Every dollar we earned went into savings for our baby. It wasn't much, but we were determined. We believed we could build a life for our child. My own parents did the opposite. The moment I told them I was pregnant, they exploded. They demanded I get an abortion. When I refused, they began pushing for adoption. When I still refused, they threw me out of the house. My father attacked my boyfriend in the street. My mother caused a scene at his mom's workplace. I cut off contact with them for months. Then out of nowhere, they called and said they had changed. They claimed they didn't want to lose me or their grandchild. They said they were ready to support us. My boyfriend's parents urged me to give them a chance. I was cautious, but I wanted to believe them. That was the worst decision I ever made. When my labor started, I was staying at my parents' house. They drove me to the hospital and told me they couldn't reach my boyfriend or his parents, but promised they were trying. That was a lie. I left the hospital empty-handed, shattered, barely able to breathe. I ran straight to my boyfriend and his family, and we grieved together. A few days later, my parents came to their house and took me back by force. I tried to escape. They dragged me back again and again. They only stopped after I tried to end my life. After that, they finally let me go. I hated them. I wanted nothing to do with them ever again. When I was 22, I married my boyfriend. It was a small wedding, just a courthouse and a barbecue in his parents' backyard. A year later, our second child was born. The trauma from my first birth haunted both of us, especially my husband. I couldn't imagine giving birth without him, but he insisted on being there this time. I asked my mother-in-law to stay with me too. His father and brothers waited in the hallway. It may sound excessive, but it made me feel safe. We went on to have 4 children in total. We loved them all deeply, but our hearts never stopped aching for our firstborn. Every single day, I thought about him. I wondered if he was safe, if he was loved, if he had landed in a good family. Every year on his birthday, my husband bought a small toy car. I baked rhubarb pudding. We didn't know if he liked toy cars. We didn't know if he liked rhubarb. We didn't even know if he knew he had been adopted. But we did it anyway. We put a candle in the pudding. We sang. We wished him a long and happy life. We took pictures with our children gathered around that dessert. To someone else, it might look pointless. To us, it was survival. 4 years ago, I was at a softball camp with our eldest daughter when my husband called me and told me to come home immediately. He didn't explain, but his voice carried something I had never heard before. I pulled our daughter out of camp and drove back as fast as I could. It's hard to describe what I felt when I walked through that door. Our son was standing there. From that moment on, we began speaking regularly. Video calls almost every day. He met his siblings. He teased his little brothers and drove his sister crazy in that affectionate way only siblings can. He had been adopted by an elderly couple who had never been able to have children. To them, he was a miracle, their only child. He grew up loved. He was happy to discover he had brothers and sisters. Every Christmas, he spends a month with us. On his birthday, we all fly to him and stay for a week. I learned something sweet and funny along the way. He hates cake. He also hates rhubarb. So now I bake peach pudding instead. We also visit him during the week marking the anniversary of his adoptive parents' deaths. They passed away only days apart. His adoptive father had found us years earlier, when our son first asked to meet his biological parents. I will always be grateful to those people. They gave him a life full of warmth and stability. They raised a wonderful young man. I wish I could have thanked them in person. A few weeks ago, my father contacted my father-in-law. My mother is dying. They are filled with regret, they say. They want to see me again. They want reconciliation before she passes. And I want nothing to do with them. Let her choke on her remorse. I don't care. They stole my child. They tore him from my arms. They erased 20 years of our lives. I hate them for it. My husband hates them too. But he believes I should let them see how well we are doing without them. He wants them to meet all of our children. He wants them to look at the son they took from us and see everything they destroyed and everything they missed. I don't think they deserve that. But I think about my son, about the beautiful life he had, about the wonderful people who raised him. I can't say for sure we could have given him the same future back then. Two frightened teenagers trying to survive. Maybe we would have, maybe we wouldn't have. My father-in-law believes we wouldn't have. The people who love me are divided. Some say I owe my parents nothing. Others say I might regret never giving them that final chance. So now I'm left with this question burning in my chest. Would I be wrong if I refuse to see them ever again? I keep replaying everything in my head, over and over, as if there's some hidden answer buried in the past that I've somehow missed. Every memory of them feels poisoned now, even the neutral ones, even the moments that once seemed ordinary. They all lead back to that hospital room, to those papers, to the moment my baby was taken from me. People keep saying things like, "She's still your mother," or "You'll regret it if she dies and you never speak to her again." I understand the logic. I really do. I'm not blind to the fact that death closes doors forever. But I can't shake the feeling that those doors were welded shut the moment she lied to me. My parents didn't make a mistake in a moment of panic. They planned it. They coordinated with lawyers and social workers. They waited until I was exhausted, drugged, and vulnerable. They didn't just betray me. They rewrote my life without my consent. For 20 years, I lived with a hole inside me. Every birthday hurt. Every Christmas carried a shadow. Every time I held one of my children, I wondered what his childhood looked like without me. They stole memories I can never get back. First words, first steps, first day of school. The way he laughed as a toddler, the sound of his voice when he was little. Those things are gone forever. And now they want peace. They want forgiveness. They want to die lighter than they lived. A part of me understands why my husband thinks I should go. He wants them to see what they destroyed. He wants them to feel the weight of it. He believes facing our happiness might be their final punishment. But I don't want to be part of their closure. I don't want to give them the comfort of believing they were forgiven. I don't want my mother to leave this world thinking she fixed what she broke, because some things can't be fixed. My son is grown now. He has his own life, his own memories, his own history, most of which does not include me. I am grateful beyond words that he is safe, loved, and whole. I cherish every call, every visit, every laugh we share now. But reconciliation with my parents would not heal what they did. It would only reopen wounds I worked my entire adult life to survive. I am not driven by revenge. I am driven by self-preservation. I don't want to sit beside the woman who orchestrated the theft of my child and listen to apologies that change nothing. I don't want to watch her cry and be expected to comfort her. I don't want to become a supporting character in her redemption story. My life is full now. I have a husband who stood beside me in my darkest years. I have children who know they are loved. I have a son who found his way back to me despite everything. I built this life without them. They were not there when I was broken. They were not there when I rebuilt myself. They do not get to arrive at the end and claim a piece of the peace I earned. Maybe some people would choose mercy. I choose distance. Not because I am cruel, but because I survived. And survival taught me that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is protect the life you fought so hard to build, even from the people who gave you life in the first place.